Police are looking for a suspect in the Athens deadly Sunday shooting. A former Athens priest is heading to prison after his hearing today. And in sports, high school basketball season is in full swing. We'll have the latest scores in the region. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Police are releasing more details in the murder on the west side of Athens. Good evening, I'm Ben Schwartz. Thank you for joining us. Authorities are looking for a suspect in Sunday's deadly shooting. 18-year-old Michael Allen Russell is wanted on charges of involuntary manslaughter and robbery. His whereabouts are currently unknown. Police say he should be considered armed and dangerous. Officials also identified the victim, 55-year-old Charles Duncan Sr. He lived at the Washington Street residence where the shooting took place and was identified as the victim by the police. Anyone with information regarding Russell's whereabouts is asked to call APD immediately at 740-592-3313. A former Gloucester Catholic priest will be in prison for 12 years. A judge sentenced Henry Foxhoven today after he pled guilty. The charges were for sexual crimes against a minor female who was a member of his church. Foxhoven will have 5 years of probation after his prison sentence. He will also be registered as a Tier 3 sex offender. Foxhoven was charged after he admitted to having sexual contact with the female, who is now 17. The contact was reportedly between August and October of this year. One of the suspects in the Pike County massacre is being held without bond. Edward Jake Wagner appeared in court today. Wagner, his mother, father, and brother are accused of killing 8 members of the Roden family in 2016. The victims ranged in age from 16 to 44. They were found shot to death at 4 crime scenes in and around the small town of Piketon. A 4-year-old baby, a 6-month-old, and a 3-year-old survived. Wagner had a child with one of the victims. Authorities say child custody appears to be a motive. A new market on East State Street in Athens will not be allowed to have a window for customers to pick up orders. The Athens Messenger reports Kindred Markets was denied zoning code variances for a drive-through window. Kindred Market is to be located at 284 East State Street, the former site of Premier Video. A couple of residents were opposed to the zoning appeal due to the possibility of high traffic. Construction of a new Warren Elementary School building is moving on to the next phase. Marietta Times reports the Warren Board of Education unanimously approved the design phase for the project. January 2019 will be the start date for bids to be accepted for the project. The public can learn more as well as give input at a special meeting on December 6th at 5:30 p.m. in Warren Middle School.
Welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm your forecaster, Cameron Saliga, and we are checking out some snow outside for the first time this year. And we'll start to we see cooler air moving in as we see temperatures outside right now of 27 degrees with a west wind at 10 miles per hour, and temperatures are falling and going to continue to follow. And then we see around the area temperatures are very similar to each other, with temperatures in the upper 20s, 28 in Columbus, 29 in Cambridge, 29 in New Martinsville, 28 in Ripley, and in Athens we see 27 with snow around the area. And we'll continue to see some snow on into the overnight hours, and it will be less than an inch around, and we should be looking forward to some better weather soon. Back to you.
Thank you, Cameron. A legislative community is starting to figure out a better way for Ohio to fund online charter schools. It's scheduled to hear more testimony this week. Senator Peggy Lehner says it may make the system more dependent on whether students finish courses, shifting the focus towards quality learning rather than growing enrollment. This comes after Ohio's largest e-school, the Electronic Classroom of Tomorrow, abruptly closed in January. It was amid a dispute of more than $80 million in public funding. A federal grant will help West Virginia children affected by the opioid epidemic. The Herald-Dispatch reports the Department of Justice awarded the West Virginia Schools Department of Social Work the grant. The $700,000 grant will develop a coalition. It will provide aid to the elementary school children in Cabell and Wayne counties. The The program will connect about a dozen organizations, from first responders to therapists. The goal is to provide support through coaching, social work, and legal services for students and their family. 2 Cincinnati inmates are recovering after overdosing over the weekend. Authorities say it's unknown how the drugs got into the Hamilton County Justice Center. The jail was locked down after the overdoses on Saturday. WCPO-TV reports the inmates were revived with Naxalone and transported to the hospital. An ethics investigation into Ohio Congressman Jim Renacci will keep moving forward. The House Ethics Committee says it would extend its review of the Republican lawmaker. He's accused of using official congressional resources to promote his political campaigns. Renacci ran for the Senate earlier this month, but lost to Democratic incumbent Sherrod Brown. The Ethics Committee made it clear that the extension does not necessarily mean the congressman violated any rules. The midterms still aren't over yet. Today, Mississippi voters will choose their next U.S. senator in a race that's been mired in controversy. Kristen Holmes has a report from Washington.
Republicans on edge in the deep red state of Mississippi as voters cast their ballots in a tighter than expected runoff. Republican Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith's once easy path to victory now mired in racial controversy after the emergence of this video. Hyde-Smith telling supporters she'd attend a public hanging.
Anyone that was offended by my comments, I certainly apologize.
Then this one, seemingly endorsing voter suppression at liberal colleges. Prompting a deeper dive into Hyde-Smith's past and the discovery of these 2014 photos of the senator posing with Confederate memorabilia. And reports Hyde-Smith pushed a resolution praising a Confederate soldier's efforts to, quote, defend his homeland. All of this in a state with a dark racial past, where Democratic candidate Mike Espy is running to be the state's first black senator since Reconstruction.
If I'm lucky and privileged and blessed enough to be elected tonight, I think it's going to represent a sea change.
President Trump going all in to protect the seat in the Magnolia State, stumping for Hyde-Smith on the eve of the election.
Cindy's far left opponent, he's far left. Oh, he's out there.
Democrats know it's an uphill battle for Espy, but are hoping for a surge in black voter turnout that might carry them to an unlikely victory. I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
The polls close at 8 p.m. Coming up, a report shows there will be a change in temperature across the world in a couple of years. Plus, Mexico is responding after U.S. border agents used tear gas at migrants, what the country is demanding the U.S. do. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see the world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
Mexico is taking action in response to the migrant crisis at the border. This comes after U.S. Border Patrol agents fired tear gas at hundreds of migrants attempting to cross the border. The Trump administration is standing by its use of tear gas. Camila Bernal is near the U.S.-Mexico border in San Diego County with more on the unrest.
Unfortunately, I cannot agree on the use of force.
Demanding an investigation. Mexico's foreign ministry is asking the U.S. to investigate the incidents that led to this. Wow! On Sunday, U.S. Border Patrol agents fired tear gas at hundreds of migrants attempting to cross the border. A cloud of tear gas sending people running and screaming, including families with young children.
To be completely frank, there were numerous people that actually made it across the border.
What started as a peaceful march escalated into chaos when protesters split off into several directions. Border Patrol defending its actions, saying some migrants threw rocks at the agents, forcing them to respond with force to protect themselves.
Once our agents were assaulted and the numbers started growing, we had 2 or 3 agents at a time initially facing hundreds of people at a time.
Meanwhile, President Trump addressing the situation.
If they come over here, we're going to apprehend them and we're going to close the border.
The Mexican government says 98 migrants will be deported following Sunday's incident, and it's unclear what's next for those still seeking asylum in the U.S.
This is a matter of humanity. This is a matter of being good to your countrymen, to your fellowship.
In San Isidro, I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
Residents closed down a school next to a sports complex where the migrants have been camped out for 2 weeks. A media outlet is reporting Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort met with the WikiLeaks founder. The British newspaper The Guardian says Manafort secretly met several times with Julian Assange inside the Ecuadorian embassy in London. It reports Manafort met with Assange in 2013, 2015, and in the spring of 2016, around the time he joined Trump's campaign. One visit also came just months before WikiLeaks released Democratic emails believed to be stolen by Russian intelligence officers. The Guardian reported Manafort denied any involvement in the hack. WikiLeaks also denies the report. A new United States climate report says the Earth's average temperature will rise 3.2 degrees by the year 2100. The 2018 emissions gap report says the increase would bring dire consequences for human health and global economies. The report also says projected global carbon emissions are nowhere near the 2 degrees Celsius goal set in the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. The United States is the only country not in the Paris Climate Agreement. A new treatment could possibly reduce the severe reactions from peanut exposure. That story's still ahead.
There is currently chilly outside, but there is a warm-up. But when will that happen? That and much more in my full forecast coming up back on Newswatch.
Member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
I love PBS because at the heart of everything PBS does is education.
I use PBS not only in my home, but also in my classroom.
It's kind of the idea of being the great equalizer for learning and for education.
I'm a lifelong learner, and PBS has always been part of that journey for me.
I love PBS because PBS supports teachers.
They know what works for kids and what's best for kids, and that's why I love PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
It's anything but a winter wonderland in some areas. A pre-December blast of snowy conditions hits numerous states, resulting in many travel nightmares. John Lawrence reports.
A major winter storm covering parts of the country like a fluffy, albeit frigid, blanket. Sure, it looks nice, but if you're trying to get from point A to point B,
you know, if I get there, I do. If not, well, then brought plenty of things to keep me busy in my briefcase.
Inclement weather forced more than 1,600 flights to be canceled Monday, according to FlightAware.com. O'Hare International Airport in Chicago was hit especially hard, with more than 1,300 flights grounded.
And that was canceled, so then I had to hurry and find another flight. So I actually flew out of Reagan in D.C. I found one last flight.
This storm is moving northeast, and more travel headaches are expected over the next few days.
Please check with your airline for flight status and for rebooking.
As the storm moved through Monday, there were winter weather advisories, warnings, and watches from Illinois through New York, affecting more than 18 million Americans. And this storm is also causing problems for travelers on the roads.
They had to pull their plows off, so they could not treat the roads.
But some stranded travelers are making the most of the situation.
The hospitality in Flint is awesome. I have to say, I'm very excited about the fun I had here. Unfortunately, bad memories of the storm, but I'll laugh about it in the coming years.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Snowfall totals are expected to reach up to 16 inches in some parts of Iowa. Let's head over to Cameron in the Weather Center. Cameron, how will this winter weather storm affect our region?
This winter weather is already actually impacting our region, as we are seeing snowfall outside right now, and we'll continue to see some snowfall overnight. As we see, check out the headlines, we see that snow will continue overnight and the sun will finally return tomorrow, and we'll start to see a warm up this weekend, but that is associated with some possible rainfall. As we see out there right now, 27 degrees, light snow and a little bit breezy with a west wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we see the temperatures right now in the area, 27 in Chillicothe, 27 down in Jackson, 28 in Ripley, and up in Cambridge we see a temperature of 29 as we see some snow throughout the area. And we check out the almanac, 30 today is your normal, 30 is the high today with a low of 20 degrees tonight, and our normal is around 27 and our high is around 50 with a record low of 16, so we're getting down close to the record set in 1997. And we see the sunrise at 7:25 and sunset at around 5:06 p.m. And we'll check out the overnight hour by hour in Athens. We start off with 26 degrees at 8 p.m. and then we'll increase or decrease down to 24 degrees and increase the snowfall chances as we go through the night. And down at 4 a.m., we are going to cool down to around 23 degrees with 70% chance of snow. And we'll start to see on precipcast this low pressure right here that is moving off to the northeast. And this is bringing some snowfall right down into the southern parts of Ohio. As we see this high pressure system here, that will be beginning to move along into the area as it moves through here. And tonight, we'll see this snowfall make its way through, and then it should move out by tomorrow at around 11 a.m. as this high pressure starts to bring some sunshine associated with a little bit of clouds here and there as we see that high pressure moving through. And then we will see overnight lows tonight, 21 in Newark, 20 down in New Lexington, 20 in Athens, and down in Ripley we'll see a temperature of 22 degrees. So it's going to be chilly out there. And we check out the bus stop forecast, 21 degrees, you're going to want those jackets. It's going to be chilly with snow moving out around 11 a.m. and with a west wind of 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow we're going to see temperatures in the 30s with snow early and then PM sun with west winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So this is going to be your best day to go outside and enjoy some sun with temperatures around 30s throughout the areas with a chance of snow to begin the day. As we check out the hour by hour tomorrow, 21 degrees to start out, and then we'll end off at 4 p.m., partly cloudy and 30 degrees. As we check out the 7-day, we see that there's a warm-up on this weekend, and then we'll start to see some showers over the weekend as another system moves through. And then to start the work week, we're going to see temperatures in the 50s. Back to you.
Thank you, Cameron. An estimated 3 million Americans live with a peanut or tree nut allergy, putting them at risk of accidental exposure that could be life-threatening. A new study suggests promising results for an allergy treatment. Jeremy Roth has the details in today's Health Minute.
A peanut powder-filled capsule could be the key to treating peanut allergies. Gradually exposing people with allergies to allergens could reduce their risk of a severe reaction. Researchers across 10 countries studied 551 participants with peanut allergies between ages 4 and 55. Most, 496, were between ages 4 and 17. 3/4 of the participants received increasing doses of the experimental treatment. The rest received a placebo. Side effects pushed 11% of the participants to drop out of the study. After a year, each remaining participant took an exit challenge, eating the equivalent of 2 peanuts under a doctor's supervision. 2/3 of child participants tolerated the challenge without a severe reaction. Half of those actually tolerated twice as much, a 4-peanut dose. 10% of children receiving treatment required an EpiPen during the exit challenge, as did 53% of the placebo group. Experts warn this isn't a cure for allergies. Patients receiving treatment shouldn't expect to be able to eat whatever they want. But researchers believe increasing tolerance for peanuts can reduce the risk of a severe reaction. For today's Health Minute, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Immune Therapeutics, Inc., the maker of the treatment, will submit an application for marketing approval next month. The FDA designated the treatment as worthy of an expedited approval process.
Hello everybody, I'm Brian Kerp. There's a full slate of basketball today. Later on, hear what Ohio women's basketball coach Bob Bolin had to say about his team's early success. And right after the break, some local girls basketball teams opened up their seasons last night. Find out how they did up next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
A box that showed you This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see the world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
Welcome back to Newswatch, I'm Brian Kerp. High school basketball is back in southeastern Ohio. Last night, there were some girls teams in the Tri-Valley Conference that began their season. The Athens Bulldogs welcomed New Lexington to the McAfee Gymnasium. Lady Bulldogs were dropping three-pointers all night. Right there, Mindy Gregory drains one of the team's eventual 8 3-pointers. Then off the inbound, Casey Federspiel, nothing but net. Laura Mandrick led the team with 16 points, and Athens goes on to win 51-46 over New Lexington. Next up, the Alexander Lady Spartans made a trip to face Federal Hawking. Right here, McKenna Rice gets the pass, and then she drains a triple for the Lady Spartans. And then Erin Skurlock gets the pass. She misses a shot, but no worries. Rice is right there to put it back in for 2. Alexander's leading scorer was Rachel Richardson. She had 17 points, and McKenna Rice added 14 points. Jeff Grinstead and the Lady Spartans win this one 52-36 over Federal Hawking. The Megs Marauders also played their first game of the season as they hosted Southern. Defense was a big part for the Marauders' success. Right here, they force a turnover, and Rebecca Polans takes it down court and lays it in for 2. Later on, Cassidy Betzing forces another turnover for the Marauders, and then she hits the short corner shot. Betzing went off in this game as she scored 26 points, and Polans added 15 points. Megs forced over 30 turnovers and went on to win 90-24. Now on to women's college basketball. Ohio sophomore Gabby Burris was named the Ohio Female Scholar Athlete of the Week. She discusses what she did in the offseason to step up her game.
Worked on everything. I worked on my shot, you just work on everything. Your follow through, make sure everything's going right, and just little by little start fixing the littlest things. Fix that first step. I know right now I need to take my first step and my dribble out and not keep my dribble closed. So just the little things, you just find one little thing in film that you need to do right, and you just work on that.
Burris and the Bobcats are off to a 5-0 start. Head coach Bob Bowen discusses what the team has done well early in the season.
Shot selection. We've taken good shots, and until the Lamar game, we hadn't turned it over a whole lot. That game was a disaster taking care of the basketball. But I thought we bounced back well in the second half and did a better job of taking care of the basketball and got better shots because of it.
The Bobcats are back in action on Saturday when they welcome Cleveland State to the Convo. The Ohio men's basketball team is back in action tonight. They will be tipping off against Iona in just a few minutes from inside the Convo. The 3-2 Bobcats are coming off an 85-82 overtime win against Austin Peay on Saturday. The Bobcats are averaging 73 points per game this season and are shooting 41.6% from the field. Jason Carter is their leading scorer. As for Iona, they have a 2-3 record and are coming off a loss against Providence on Saturday. Iona averages about 80 points per game so far in the young season. Let's hope the Bobcats can grab another W. I'm Brian Kerp, and that's it for sports. Back over to you, Ben.
Thanks, Brian. Take a look at this. A video of engineers celebrating NASA's Mars landing is going viral. NASA's InSight lander reached Mars yesterday, and Mission Control erupted with pride, including these two systems engineers who gave each other an epic handshake. Turns out they were inspired by 49ers players Marquise Goodwin and Kendrick Bourne, who did a handshake during a game last September.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center, and I would like to have some of those handshakes with some of my friends. And we check out the day planner for tomorrow. 8 a.m. we're going to start off at 21 degrees, and by noon we're going to see 29 degrees, and a 10% chance as the snow chances taper off, and into the evening we'll start to see temperatures up into the 30s by 4 p.m. As we check out your 7-day forecast, we see a warm up into the weekend, and we'll see a chance of showers into Saturday, Friday night into Saturday, and then to start your work week off, we're going to start to see a chance of showers and also temperatures in the mid-50s. Back to you.
Thank you, Cameron. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. I'm Ben Schwartz. Have a great night.